Okay, so um, this one was Science for Hungry People. This is where we're picking back up from, which was where I have 100 teaspoons of ingredients, and each of the ingredients has some features associated with it, and I need to compute the score associated with the best combination of ingredients. And you can calculate the ingredients by multiplying their features by the amount of them you use, and then sum those together. So there's sort of a natural map reduced to this if you can come up with a closed form algorithm. I'm gonna cheat a little bit, I guess. So, let's see. So I've got this. This is all my ingredients, and I want to optimize over it. And I'm gonna get back a number. So print optimize all my ingredients, the zip of my ingredients. I have 100 tablespoons remaining, and so far my score is 0 at that point. So at the beginning I have not used any ingredients, and so my score is 0. I realized I was implementing the brute force version of this wrong last time. It kind of occurred to me. So if I have no more ingredients remaining, then I'm just going to return so far. And if I have no more tablespoons left to allocate, then I'm going to return so far. And for each of the ingredients, I'm going to calculate what the best score I can get off of the remaining things is. So for each of those ingredients, and then I need to take the product of this. So let me remind myself how to do reduce in Python. Python reduce. Let's see. It is the product of is equal to reduce. Do I need to import anything? Do I have access to reduce already? Let's see. What's data? It looks like this. And I need to figure out what's the best combination of ingredients that gives me the greatest sum of the products of the scaled features. Okay. Oh, and actually, if I'm just going to multiply them all together, I don't have to pre-scale them, right? As a matter of fact, I can pre-compute this whole thing, right? Wait, am I understanding this problem correctly? I'm multiplying each of these by 44 and then multiplying them together. So I can actually pre-compute this whole thing, right? So here, functools reduce. I'm just multiplying them all together in advance. Okay. So that should be good. And then here, all I really need to do is scale the thing, right? I get features, features times I to the 4th power. No, stop. And then I'm going to calculate the score for this one. So this is optimize on ingredients, but losing the first one. And then remaining is remaining minus I. So I want to be able to use 0 of this and all of it. So I think I need +1 there. I don't need a start, but it's going to make me feel better to write it. 0 up till remaining. And then so far is the one that I received plus this value. And if score is greater than best, then best equals score, then return best. I think this is better than exponential runtime. So what does this give me? Does this work? That's not great. All right, well, let's trace this kind of poorly for now. This is going to produce a lot of output. Okay. I'm never actually increasing so far. Because I thought I would get it back out through score. Oh, wait, what's... Features... For the last one, I just have to assume the remainder of it's used, right? If len of ingredients is 1, then this one's fixed, right? It's, I assume that I'm going to use the full amount. So it's actually not I here, but it's remaining. To the 4th power. Which I just returned that, right? Hey, Holiday Times. Thanks so much for the resub. We are working on Advent of Code. I'm still getting zeros all the way down. Am I not passing anything but 0 to this method? The last thing in this print statement is always 0, which it shouldn't be. So far as the 3rd parameter, and I'm passing it to it. Is this not giving me the right thing? I just want to see what this is. I need to print this. Oh yeah, that's not working. This is Advent of Code. Advent of Code is, they all have zeros in them. That's why this is happening. Do I not understand something about this problem then? Okay, they all have zeros in them. How does this work? Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Oh, no. I did misread the problem. Okay, I did misread the problem. Crap. Oh, no. God, I have to walk this so far back. I misread the problem entirely. So I was right before. My so far array is actually, it's actually this. And when I get down to the very bottom, I can actually calculate it. So, shit. Okay, I have to walk a lot of this back. This is not correct. This is rough. Okay, so the features is actually a full array. This is not correct. If I have no more ingredients left, then I can go ahead and process them. So at this point, I should have the sums of all of their things. That's fine. All I have to do is multiply those values together. So return, I still need that product method. Okay. return the product of the so far array. If there's no more that I can contribute, return product of the so far array. That's fine. Now, if there's only one ingredient left, that was still something I can do. Ingredients equals 1. Then if this is the last ingredient, then the amount that I'm going to use is remaining. So let me write this code down here, and then I can more or less copy it up. So new so far equals I times A plus B for A comma B in zip of features comma so far. That should work. That's a normal kind of reduce. So I can pass that on. So this here is the same as this here, except for instead of I, it's remaining. And these two, actually I wouldn't be going any deeper at that point. I can just return the product of that, I guess. So that's sort of a normal base case for me. That's fine. Which means this base case right here should never occur, I think. This one should never come up. I'm going to leave it, but I don't think it'll happen. I don't know. Maybe this will work. So it looks like I'm getting reasonable values now. All right, let's turn it loose and see if it does its thing. Jesus, that's a large number. I am skeptical. Okay. I am doing a big code. I sure am. Let's see. What am I doing wrong here? My prod method is working, right? Let me confirm that. It should be what, 120? Yeah. Okay, so my product method seems to be correct. Start out with all zeros. Neither of these are the case. No. I scale. So what's happening here? I scale the feature by the amount that's being used. I add it to the so far value I already have, and I pass it along. The amount that I've used is removed from the remaining. I subtract the first ingredient. And this eventually bottoms out and returns the score for me. Huh. What is wrong with this? Is it because this is assuming 0 is actually the best you can do, and in fact, for a given set, I might get a negative number? Does this give me a different answer? Nope, it didn't. Welcome back, bad actor. Well, I mean, at this point, I think that my code is correct. Or at least at this point, I think that I've understood the problem correctly and that I've written up the correct solution for it, but it doesn't seem to be correct. Let me try this example right here and see if I get the same answer as them. That seems like the obvious next thing to try. No, I do not. How am I getting such large numbers? Jesus. I'm getting the features right, correct? -1, -2, 6, and 3. 2, 3, -2, and -1. So I've got the values correct. Is it because I'm optimizing in a bad way? Am I optimizing in the wrong way? I think it's because I'm optimizing in the wrong way. I think that's what it is. No, wait, no. My optimization is fine. This is the mistake, isn't it? Wait, is this... Am I not using the right amounts? And I get a way incorrect answer. Why am I getting so many print statements here? What am I doing wrong? Why is it printing out so many things? This should not print out this many things. This is definitely not correct. Is it like weirdly concatenating some things? No. What the hell is it doing? Oh. Wait. No, I just messed something up. That's it. Is there a rule that you have to use at least? Negative totals become 0. The total score of a cookie can be found by adding up each of the properties. Negative totals become 0. I'm so confused right now. I think it's because I'm not getting this part right. I think this is... I think that's the part I'm messing up right there. Any of the properties had produced a negative total. I think I was probably getting some really negative values and they were multiplying together and they shouldn't have been. Alright, I think I figured out what my issue was. That seems logical. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think that's the value I was supposed to get. 628. Yeah, that works. Okay. Figured out my problem. All right, we finished the first part. Just overlooking one little piece. Your cookie recipe becomes wildly popular. Someone asked if you can make another recipe that has exactly 500 calories per cookie. So you can use as a meal replacement. Keep the rest of your award-winning process the same. Same scoring system. For example, given the ingredients above, if you had instead selected 40 teaspoons of butterscotch and 60 teaspoons of cinnamon, total calorie count would be 500. Rapik, thank you so much for the 3 months of sub. I appreciate it. All right, so I have to nail exactly the the calorie count that's being asked for. All except for the last one. So this shouldn't change my answer yet. I haven't done anything. Okay. If remaining times ingredients plus calories does not equal 500, return negative infinity. That ain't a good cookie. If calories does not equal 500, turn negative infinity. There's no ingredients left. Same thing. And then all I gotta do is pass along the new number of calories. I times, so calories plus I times features. Does that work? Oof. See. Cannot concatenate tuple to int. Oh, sorry, it's features, not ingredients. Nice. Okay. All I had to do is add in a check for calories. Not too bad. All right. Another one in the books. Aunt Sue. Your Aunt Sue has given you a wonderful gift. I'll be the judge of that. And you'd like to send her a thank you card. However, there's a small problem. She signed it from Aunt Sue. You have 500 aunts named Sue. Wow. Your family was busy. And stupid. So to avoid sending the card to the wrong person, you need to figure out which Aunt Sue, which you conveniently number 1 to 500 for sanity, gave you the gift. You open the present, and as luck would have it, good old Aunt Sue got you a My First Crime Scene Analysis machine. Just what you wanted, or needed as the case may be. The My First Crime Scene Analysis machine can detect a few specific compounds in a given sample, as well as how many distinct kinds of those compounds there are. According to the instructions, these are what the machine can detect. Children, by human DNA age analysis. What? Cats? Several seemingly random breeds of dog. Goldfish. Bees, cars, perfumes. Okay. In fact, many of your ants, Sue, have many of these. You put the wrapping from the gift into the machine. It beeps inquisitively at you a few times and then prints out a message on ticker tape. Why? You make a list of the things you can remember about each ant, Sue. Things missing from your list aren't 0. You simply don't remember the value. Oh, good lord. Hi, I'd like to introduce you to my 500 ants, Sue. I can't. This is so wild. Alright, I am going to, I think I am going to, look and see if I can do this with regex. I need to stop sitting here saying, I can't remember how to do regex. You know what, let's take a few minutes and reacquaint ourselves. I think I just need to use the search and groups. That's it. I think I can get away pretty far with that. I don't know why my alerts are so quiet. Are they coming through at a reasonable at a reasonable volume for y'all? I changed the way that they're being captured in OBS. You didn't hear a sound for the alert at all? Alright, well I'm just going to turn it way up. And we're going to see whether or not that fixes it. This will be very loud in my ears and maybe very loud in your ears. We'll see. So I'm going to need a dictionary. Actually, just a list, I guess. My list of Sues. Now I'll do it as a dictionary. What was the number of the Sue that got you the gift? So I presume exactly one of the Sues will match this. Objection! Did y'all hear that one? Thanks, Dave. Very loud? Okay. Well, I'm turning it down a little bit. Was that extremely loud? I have no frame of reference. When you let OBS manage the volume, I hear it at a different volume than you hear it. So it's really just complete guesswork at this point. Only a little louder than my voice. Okay. Well, I'll turn it down a bit, but not much. Too hot? Well, Tina, I gotta be honest with you, my voice is too hot. And I mean that both in sort of a joking way and in that looking at the OBS mixer sometimes my voice is clipping. Can I just, like, write a literal dictionary in Python? God, why is it that... Like, I stopped using Python for, like... maybe a few months, and now suddenly I feel like I don't know anything about Python. I don't know what that's about. According to what I looked up, this is correct. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is correct. Okay. I guess I can confirm by just, like, running this and seeing if it gives me a syntax error there. Nope, just gave me a syntax error here because I didn't finish writing my code. Okay. I could do this with, like, some really stupid text parsing, but I'm just gonna do what I was doing before and try writing a regular expression. It's been so long since I've written regular expressions in... No. It's just been so long since I've written any regular expression that this is going to take a little while, but I think it's going to be good for me. Search should allow me to match multiple instances, right? Like I'm not going to do a named matches. I need to be able to find things over and over in this. I mean, I guess I can just split into lines and do it once per line. Never mind. Okay, so my pattern is Sue, and then what? D plus semicolon or colon, and then W for characters, I think. See, and then the comma is optional. And then as many of those as I want. That seems reasonable, I guess. I don't know. It's only finding the first thing, though. Objection! Oh, wow, Sky. Fantastic. Sword of Blair, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Was the volume on that alert better? Yeah, plus I thought a star. What am I doing wrong here? Way to go, Sky. Yeah, I'm not so worried about that. The matching should be greedy, but I'm trying to get to match 3 of these things, and how do I get them in different groups? I mean, I could just write, there's 3 of them in each instance, I believe. But I'm only getting, like, the first sets of groups. I don't understand why that is. Oh, yeah. You're actually right, I think. Is it that I don't want to use search, I want to use match? Shut up, nerd. Is this link going to take me to documentation for Perl? Tina. Tina. Swear to God. I just don't remember how to get it to give me lots of matches. I know that this is possible in Python. I know that you can get it to give you all of the matches for something. What the frig? Find all is what I'm looking for, apparently. Of course, it's called find all. That's not it. I did not do the right thing. Pattern, string, flags. Find all non-overlapping matches of a pattern in string as a list of strings. Why is it not giving me all of the groups? I'm annoyed. Right now, I'm very annoyed. Repeated groups. Here we go. Capturing repeated submatches. Apparently there's a different module that does support what I'm looking for. Wait, is this only Python 2? Oh no, this is a different library entirely. Shit. Really glad that I decided to make the smart choice to use a regular expression. This has been extremely fun. That worked. I've been slicing the string for the past 15 days. I just decided I wanted to try regular expressions since I haven't done them in a while. Alright, there we go. We got something at least. Not great, but something. Okay. So now I've got my dictionary. Now all I got to do is for Sue, comma, features in Sue's dot items, and then for feature, comma, num in features, if ticker feature does not equal num, then wrong Sue. Wrong Sue. Number 373. I'm glad, Hootie. I'm glad you're enjoying. As you're about to send the thank you note, something in the machine's instructions catches your eye. Apparently it has an outdated retroencabulator. Is that a link to a real thing? I'm not clicking that. Sorry, you're not baiting me into that. And so the output from the machine isn't exact values. Some of them indicate ranges. In particular, the cats and trees readings indicate that they're greater than that many due to the unpredictable nuclear decay of cat dander and tree pollen, while the Pomeranians and goldfish readings indicate that there are fewer than that many due to the modial interaction. Oh my god, no thank you. Not really. Featuring cats, trees. Ticker feature is less than num. Or actually, I guess it's greater than or equal to, right? Does this give me another reasonable answer? It gave me 373 again. Doubt. If it's cats, they're greater than that many. So should this have been less than or equal to? And this one greater than or equal to? Still getting 373. What's going on with Sue 373 over here? Pomeranians 3, Perfumes 1, Vizslas 0. Can I not do in tuple? Like, can I not use a tuple in this way? That might be my problem. I actually don't know whether or not I'm allowed to. Oh, Christ. I wrote features, not feature. Well, that'll do it. There we go. Got it. I had a bad time with that. Nobody asked me to do regex again. I don't really feel like it. I feel like I've proven myself. The elves bought too much eggnog again. Hashtag relatable. 150 liters this time. To fit it all into your refrigerator, you'll need to move it into smaller containers. You take an inventory of the capacities of the available containers. For example, suppose you have containers of size 20, 15, 10, 5, and 5 liters. If you need to store 25 liters, there are 4 ways to do it. Filling all the containers entirely, how many different combinations of containers can exactly fit all 150 liters of eggnog? Okay, so I'm just going to sort them and do this greedily. I mean, that's not terribly hard, right? Yeah, it seems like it gets harder toward the end. So, I mean, this is like a really basic dynamic programming problem. Really basic. I just have to decide how I want to write this. So my state space is how many liters are remaining and what is the index of the last container I actually used. So, count options. And I'm going to memoize this as well. So, I don't think memoization is really necessary at this scale. So let me write it without first, and then I'll memoize it if it seems slow, I guess. I don't think I'll need it. For I in range of index +1 up to input dot, the length of the input. Okay, so it does count these as distinct containers. That's important, actually. And that's good. That's going to make this way easier. If the input at I is actually larger than the amount of room remaining, then we can just skip this one because we've already gone over. And I should say if remaining equals 0 or index is greater than remaining is 0, just return 0. Okay, so I'm counting the number of options. So if there's no number of liters left to be allocated, there's 0 ways to do that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep track of what's my best, or not best, count, and I'm going to sum them up. So equals count options, assuming that I've used this one. So it's I'm passing I, and remaining is that minus input at I. If input at I is equal to remaining, turn 1. I think that's actually this, just return 1. There's only one way to fill 0 remaining liters, and that's to use no buckets. So I think that's correct. I think I was just getting it backwards. I think that works. For some reason, I'm like really second guessing myself today. Okay. I don't know why I was second guessing myself so much. I just felt like I was implementing that wrong. I don't know. While playing with all the containers in the kitchen, another load of eggnog arrives. The shipping and receiving department is requesting as many containers as you can spare. Find the minimum number of containers. Find the minimum number of containers that can exactly fit all 150 liters of eggnog. How many different ways can you fill that number of containers and still hold exactly... Wait. Find the minimum number of containers that can exactly fill all 150 liters of eggnog. How many different ways can you fill that number of containers and still hold exactly 150? Okay. Yeah, I don't have one 150 liter container. I have these containers. So let me leave this method. I'm going to make a small modification. So since I sorted the list in advance, I can do this greedily. So if I hit it exactly, I return 0. Because it takes 0 containers to do that. So what I want to do is I want to, instead of summing up a list of things, I want to find the first one that works. And I want to return 1 plus that. I don't actually know if this works. Okay, so 6 containers is the minimum that I need to do this. Assuming that my code is correct. Now I want a method that tries to do this with exactly 6 containers. $372 ways. Yeah, I thought that number seemed a little high as well. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Six containers also seems like a large number. I want to see an example of this, I guess. That's guaranteed to be the smallest one? I'm doing it greedily, so... Is greedy guaranteed to give me... I don't think greedy is guaranteed to give me the best answer here. The more I think about it, the more I realize I think I was wrong. I don't think greedy does give me the best answer necessarily. I mean, this isn't hard to fix, but I don't know what made me think that greedy gave me the best answer. Shut up, nerd. Subtracts. Four was the correct answer. Okay. Yeah, this is the knapsack problem. Of course you can't do it greedily. That's NP complete. After the Million Lights incident. If you guys don't remember, the Million Lights incident was a grid of 1,000 by 1,000 lights. The fire code has gotten stricter. Now at most 10,000 lights are allowed. You arrange them in a 100 by 100 grid. Never one to let you down, or run around, or hurt you. Santa again mails you instructions on the ideal lighting configuration. With so few lights, he said, you'll have to resort to animation. Start by setting your lights to the included initial configuration, your puzzle input. Then animate your grid in steps, where each step decides the next configuration based on the current one. Each light's next state depends on its current state and the current states of the... Oh, Christ, this is Game of Life. Oh, man. This is good. Yeah, this is straight up Game of Life. Ooh, boy. All right, we're simulating Game of Life. Not a recursive solve. This is just straight up simulation. I'm just trying to think for a second how I want to implement this. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is just add up all the neighbors. It's assumed to be off. Yeah, basically. The year that this one released, it was the year that this one released, it was one new activity released per day, and there's one for each year up to 2019. So I'm basically starting from an old year, and I'm going to hopefully be done in time to be able to do all of 2019's after Christmas. No, it's not Casper. You don't have to put the function state on the stack. So what's the rules? Light stays on when 2 or 3 neighbors are on and turns off otherwise. Let's be more explicit. I really hate this. Yep, this is just Conway's Game of Life. I'm going to wait till after Christmas to do all of 2019's. So this is just me sort of building up, I guess. Why is this code not valid? Oh, 107. It's because of that. I looked at the wrong place. That ain't gonna be fast, I'll tell you that much. Not the right answer. Alright, well let's try one of their inputs and we'll see. Alright, let's try one of their inputs now. If state is... Oh, I got this backwards. State is off, and there are exactly 3 neighbors on. Turns on. Let's just see if that magically fixes everything. We'll see. I thought my code was right otherwise, so... 7156. Still too high. Okay, it was too high in the first place, so I should have known that wasn't correct. How many lights are on after 100 steps? So let's go back to the previous input and make sure we're getting this one right. After 4 steps, it says there are 4 on. So we can use that as our test case. This says there's 8 on after 4 steps. So let's try to visualize this. So my first state looks like this. Why did I make that so hard? Okay, so clearly this isn't working. It looks completely different after 1 step. So let's see. Getting a neighbor at a row and column returns it directly if it's within the appropriate dimensions. Otherwise, we assume it's off. Anything outside is off, right? Missing ones always count as off. Counting the neighbors. This definitely does the right thing, right? Starts at -1, goes up to 1, stepping by 1. And the rule is, for a specific location, just trying to make this a little easier for me to read. If the light is on, and the neighbors are 2 or 3, doesn't look like it changed anything, right? Interesting. Stays on. Stays on. God, my rules are just all bad. There. It works. Was that so hard? Just read the damn instructions. You can flip the instructions over. Santa goes on to point out that this is all just an implementation of Conway's Game of Life. At least it was, until you notice that something's wrong with the grid of lights you bought. 4 lights, 1 in each corner, are stuck on and can't be turned off. This example will actually run like this. Okay, so the top corners just can't be turned off. Of course, my input was not given to me that way. What's the best part of a programming stream? Cool. Easy fix. Medicine for Rudolph. He's sick! His nose isn't shining very brightly, and he needs medicine so that he can be useful to capitalism again. Red-nosed reindeer biology isn't similar to regular reindeer biology. Rudolph is going to need custom-made medicine. Unfortunately, red-nosed reindeer chemistry isn't similar to regular reindeer chemistry either. The North Pole is equipped with a red-nosed reindeer nuclear fusion fission plant. Capable of constructing any red-nosed reindeer molecule you need, it works by starting with some input molecule and then doing a series of replacements, one per step, until it has the right molecule. However, the machine has to be calibrated before it can be used. Calibration involves determining the number of molecules that can be generated in one step from a given starting point. For example, imagine a simpler machine that supports only the following replacements. H goes to H. Okay, so this is like just a grammar. Neat. Brahms. Okay, so in the example above, there are 4 distinct molecules, not 5, because HOOH appears twice after one replacement from HOH. Santa's favorite molecule, HOHOHO, can become 7 distinct molecules over 9 replacements, 6 from H and 3 from O. The machine replaces without regard for the surrounding characters. For example, given the string H2O, the transition H to OO would result in OO2O. Your puzzle input describes all the possible replacements and, at the bottom, the medicine molecule for which you need to calculate the machine. How many distinct molecules can be created after all the different ways you can do one replacement on the medicine molecule? I knew it. Oh wait, they're all capital letter, lowercase letter. Oh, nope. We got a single lowercase letter here. Oh, but E doesn't appear anywhere else. Okay, I was really thinking we were in some trouble. All right, well, there's an elegant way to do this, and that's not what we're going to be doing. So. OMG. Hello, Sky Bills. How are you doing? So single replacements. Is there a clever way I can make this easier on myself by just collapsing all of these double letters into single letters? Alright, I'm going to see if I can do this. I'm going to try to collapse these into single letters. Wait, was there already a C in the list? There was no C in the list. Oh. Yeah, you're right. T, 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 T. Alright, that's fine. Okay. So now I just have to slide a window across this bad boy. That doesn't work. This doesn't work. That doesn't work. That should work. They didn't change the way default dict did work, did it? Oh, it's lowercase and all the others are capital. That's fantastic. That's really good stuff. Way to stay consistent. Let's see if I'm getting my input correct. Looks good. Alright, so my plan is just to perform every possible thing, shove it into a set, the set will check for uniqueness, and that should hopefully get me across the finish line, so here we go. Vox Futro. Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub, I appreciate it. Let's see, if I can sort of do something here, I don't love, but I can do it. Last thing's a single character. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, never mind. I was going to zip it and get all pairs and then just throw out the second thing if the second thing was a capital letter, but... Seems like a stupid choice. What happens if you zip two things that are of different sizes? You just don't get a last thing, huh? Is there still like a clever way I can do this? Where I can get the last element by itself? I mean, sorta. Yeah, I think I can do that. I think that'll work for me. Let's do that. For a comma b in zip, start with start, but I'm gonna offset it by 1 and just add a none to the end. Or a single character. Or empty character or something. I don't know. Actually, I can add a capital X and it's gonna do the thing I want it to do, actually. So that'll work. Actually, okay, yeah. I'm doing a weird thing, but it works, so. How do I check to see if a character is lowercase? Python 3. Check lowercase. Is lower. Oh, is that just like a built-in is lower? Oh, it's a string method. String is lower. Okay. B is lower than A plus equals B. And now I can do print A. If A dot is lower, just skip this one. And I think this will do what I'm wanting to do. It's kind of a stupid way I'm arriving there, but... There must be string, not list. Ah. Whoops. Almost forgot what I was doing for a second there. C, RN, CA, 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 SI, RN, B, P, T. Yeah, that worked. Okay. Sure. It was kind of a stupid way to arrive there, but hey, you know what? Whatever gets you across the finish line, right? Oh, no, actually, this does not help me in the slightest. Oh, no. I didn't consider the fact that I kind of need to know my index for this to be useful. Shit. Hey, you know, it'd be cool is if I just enumerate this, right? That works. Well, you know what they say. If it's stupid and it works, then it's not stupid. But I beg to differ here. I still think I'm doing a stupid thing. Oh no, there is a lowercase. I don't think there are, and I don't seem to have a way to generate them. Why is lowercase e an option if they can't be generated? I'm just going to remove them, I guess. They're kind of throwing me off. Okay. So what are we doing here? We're going to say set.add. Let's see. Start everything up to I plus in map of A plus start from I plus length of A onward. And then just print the length of the set. Does that work? Add requires a set object. Oh, insert? I don't remember. Okay, fine. Just what is it then? Python 3 set. Hey Mitch, I don't know how to use Python sets. Python sets are not immutable. So I'm confused. It says it's set add. So what's the issue here? Oh, it's Jesus Christ. It's because the set's not called set, it's called outcomes. I'm dumb. Now that the machine is calibrated, you're ready to begin molecule fabrication. Molecule fabrication always begins with just a single electron E and applying replacements one at a time, just like the ones during calibration. For example, suppose you have the following replacements. Okay. So you have the following replacements. If you'd like to make HOH, you start with E and then make the following replacements. So you could make HOH after 3 steps. Sam's favorite molecule can be made in 6 steps. How long will it take to make the medicine, given the available replacements and the medicine molecule in your puzzle input? What is the fewest number of steps to go from E to the medicine molecule? So same input. So now I think what I want to do is I want to do this whole thing in reverse, right? I want to start from it and try to collapse it into E. Is that my choice? I think I want to do this whole thing in reverse. There's smarter ways to do this for sure. So now, it's the target. So that's calibration. Now I want to start at the target, and I'm going to build this backwards, I think. Let's see. Fewest number of steps to go from E to the medicine molecule. This one may require memoization. So the target here is E. I'm going to do this again, but I'm going to do it in reverse. So it's actually 2, and I'm going to add from to it. I'm going to say 4. So we're going to try to make the largest thing we can. That's the goal here. Like the largest, I'm going to try to do the largest collapse. That's going to, produce the best result for me. I may end up adding memoization into this. We'll see. Okay, so I have my map, and I need a definition for a recursive way of doing this. Basically, I'm going to count steps that it takes to go from some start place to E. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to say for, let's see, for I in range from 0 up until the length of the string. And I want to know what my end point is. So if start at I is lower, just skip this one. That's not a valid start place. If start is just equal to E, then turn 0 steps is how many modifications it takes to produce E. Start I dot is lower. Continue. For J in range from len start -1 to I +1. And I want to know if that range there matches anything in my dictionary. So I'm going to say for X in map of start from I to J. Count steps to go from this new thing. So this is start up to I. plus x plus start from j onward. If steps is less than best, then the best I found is steps. And I guess return best. I don't know, maybe. We can probably speed this up considerably, actually. Hold on. That should at least partially shrink the search space. This is still like not a optimal solution. This is still going to take a while. Need to see some of these. Let's take their example input and run it with that first. Got infinite. I am having a slight issue where I'm probably consuming some of these incorrectly. works correctly. Okay. And now I can actually consume a proper range. For I in range start for That's true, there isn't. Guess the rest of this is correct. Unhashable type list, of course. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to work. Okay. This is actually kind of tedious right now. Maximum recursion depth. All right, let's look at this example and see if I can make sense of it. Is it because I'm not actually advancing forward? Okay, I'm struggling. I'm struggling right now. How am I getting so many E's? Because it's just generating characters and then replacing them with E's, and that's all it's doing over and over. So yeah, I'm absolutely going to hit my recursion limit on this one. That sucks. Why does nothing produce two E's? What the frick did that come from? Where did that come from? Wait, what? Okay, I'm just not parsing this correctly. H goes to E, O goes to E. There we go. H goes to E, O goes to E, HO goes to H, OH. There we go. I just had it backwards. Okay, this says it can be done in 6 steps. That was slow, but I think it works. And it prioritizes longer ones now, so... I have no idea. I have no concept of how long this is going to take. I'm essentially repeatedly sliding a length 8 window. This could take an incredibly long time. Yeah, this is Python. This is like an extraordinarily inefficient algorithm. What time complexity is it? Well, just based on the search space, it's definitely exponential. I mean, this might be a comeback when it gets done running sort of thing. I could certainly write it more efficiently, but this will work theoretically on a long enough timeline. My biggest issue is just chopping up lists and creating tuples out of it. There is a time-consuming process. Like, the algorithm itself is maybe not terrible, but as soon as you start chopping up strings, switching between lists and tuples, it's not great. I'm gonna give it like a minute. Then maybe just let that run and we'll come back to it. Alright, let's look at the next one while we're waiting. Infinite elves in infinite houses. To keep the elves busy, Santa has them deliver some presents by hand, door to door. He sends them down a street with infinite houses numbered sequentially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each elf has an assigned number 2 and delivers presents to houses based on that number. First elf delivers presents to every house. Second elf, every second house. Third elf, every third house. Infinitely many elves, numbered starting with 1. Each elf delivers presents equal to 10 times. Each elf delivers presents equal to 10 times his or her number at each house. Each elf delivers presents equal to 10 times. One got 10. Okay, I see. 30. Okay, got it. First house gets 10 presents, but it's only by elf 1, which delivers... What's the lowest number of the house to get at least as many presents as the number in your puzzle input? Jesus Christ. I'm doing well, Dave. We'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so I can just knock a 0 off of all these. I think the times 10 is kind of irrelevant because it's multiplied in that way. I'm just going to keep the number as written and divide it by 10 because the second part may use the original number. Still running, huh? Alright. We'll come back to you still.
Objection!
Sinistral, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. So I think it's just the sum of the factors, right? 9 plus 1 plus 3 is 13. 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 is 15. 7 and 1 is 8. Yeah, I think it's just the sum of the factors. So the question is, what's the first number, the sum of its factors is greater than that number? Or greater than or equal to? Maybe. This is not my finest work right here, I'll tell you that much. Yeah. I mean, I can do a sieve in root n time. That's not bad.
Hold it!
Hey Liz, thanks so much for the big ol' raid. I appreciate it. Good. Why does House 8 get 150 presents? Because it's visited by elf number 1, 2, 4, and 8, which are both holding 10, 20, 40, and 80 presents respectively. So I can do a little bit of quick math to figure out like what scale we're looking at here, right? Nope, don't have that window open. So we don't have to go above checking like 4 million. That's about where it seems to stop. The factors already overshoot pretty low, honestly. Yeah, I saw a gif from Gildersneeze. I'm concerned. I'll be honest. I'm concerned. Jesus. Gilder sent me Death or Cress. It's not Xiphoid. Is that not the most ominous gift message ever? Hey, Gilder. I'll have to give that game a look sometime. No, I'm not a coward. I accept. I accept, with reticence. I would describe myself as reticent. Probably only going to go for about another hour, because I need to go get food before my Kusagrande match. Go for it, Bob. The runtime of this is actually going to be miserable. Holy crap. I just realized. Miserable. So there's definitely, again, a clever solution to this that I don't really want to do.
Objection!
Soijin, thank you so much. Do I really want to do that? Okay, alright, fine. So I can actually probably memoize this to speed this up considerably now that I think about it, right? Like if I can just find 2 factors. No, actually I can't memorize it directly. Not without just keeping a list of the factors. Oh, this is rough. Writing this as a dynamic program is not ideal, actually. I don't, I don't, I think I'd have to, if I were to properly memorize this, it would require quite a lot of storage space. This guy's just gonna keep running. This is not in great shape. I'm concerned that the the asymptotic complexity of that is way higher than I was expecting. Is this primes? No, not necessarily just primes. Let's see. All right. I've added like some really small heuristic stuff that'll make that run faster, but not enough that I think it'll combat how generally kind of bad the runtime is on that. I was forgetting to add some values, the larger values, which would have made this run considerably faster. So every time I encounter a factor, I add both the factor I found plus the corresponding factor to it that you would multiply together. And I only have to check up to the square root of the input, because anything larger than that can't evenly divide it. Or at least it can evenly divide it, but it would match with one that I've already found. That's the typical way you write a sieve for testing primes. But it works just fine for counting or reading out the factors as well. I'm actually curious how quickly this is running. tempted enough to print out the eye for each iteration, but I should only need to go up to about like 3 or 4 million. But boy, it's not running that fast. Printing to the screen here is obviously the big bottleneck, but still kind of slow. I don't feel confident that brute. I feel like we're sort of out of brute force territory at this point. You know, does it feel like that way to anyone else? Just me? Okay. So there's likely an observation here that I'm missing. I've made at least one observation that makes the search space considerably smaller. Oh yeah, I'm not going to see the match index. Well, shit. That sucks. I can at least know where to start my range again, though, so I'll be fine. Oh lord, you're absolutely right. There is. Well, I know the value that I'm looking for is not larger than 3 million. Or is not larger than 4 million. So, no, brute forcing's not great, but this will get there, probably. The second half of this one's going to kick my ass. I already know. The second half of day 20 is just going to absolutely destroy me. The elves decide they don't want to visit an infinite number of houses. Instead, each elf will stop after delivering presents to 50 houses. To make up for it, they decide to deliver presents equal to 11 times their number at each house. With these changes, what is the new lowest house number of the house to get at least as many presents as the number in your puzzle input? Fuck. Okay, well. So everyone's delivering 11 presents. That's fine. I could just divide the whole thing by 11. It's Adam. How are we doing over here, boss? Still bad? Still bad. Got it. I'm also using a font that has ligatures for some things. Like, this is not actually a greater than or equal to symbol. It's just a ligature that happens if I type a greater than sign next to an equal sign. If I put them together, the ligature combines them. I actually kind of like it. It's grown on me. Stop after delivering presents to 50 houses. So basically, I should be able to make a list of every elf that is able to hit each house. Shit, this one's hard. Wait, is it actually hard? Can't I just limit this to only going up to, only going up to 50? Wait, I think actually this might be easier if I can reason through this correctly. Because the elf that hits this one, this house, I think it's this. And then I don't combine it with this. So I actually don't have a good intuition for whether or not this is going to be faster or slower. This is not what I mean by faster. Oh, the house might be actually much larger. Shut up, nerd. We have already confirmed it's not anywhere there. I don't know. I don't have a single bit of intuition for whether or not this is going to work. There's definitely a smarter way to do this. Oh god, I'm not... This isn't right. Hold on. Okay, let's roll this back a bit. Okay. So, what I was saying before was that the ones that will be able to hit this are ones where the multiple that divides it is... Oh, so I was doing this backwards. It's actually... I think I was actually correct. It was that I wanted to keep this one. I integer divided by j. And I guess I probably don't need this one either. I think it's just while j is less than 50, right? Because if j is greater than 50, then the elf in question would not have reached this house. Great. Hey, how you doing over there, buddy? Still running? Still running. Little Henry Case got a new video game for Christmas. It's an RPG, and he's stuck on a boss. He needs to know what equipment to buy at the shop. He hands you the controller. In this game, the player, you, and the enemy, the boss, take turns attacking. The player always goes first. Each attack reduces the opponent's hit points by at least 1. First character at or below 0 hit points loses. Damage dealt by an attacker each turn is equal to the attacker's damage score minus the defender's armor score. An attacker always does at least 1 damage, so if the attacker has a damage score of 8 and the defender has an armor score of 3, defender loses 5 hit points. If the defender had an armor score of 300, defender would still lose 1 hit point. Your damage score and armor score both start at 0. They can be increased by buying items in exchange for gold. You start with no items, have as much gold as you need. Your total damage or armor is equal to the sum of the stats from all your items. You have 100 hit points. Here's what the item shop is selling. You must buy exactly 1 weapon, no dual wielding. Armor's optional, but you can't use more than 1. Okay. You can buy anywhere from 0 to 2 rings, at most 1 for each hand. You must use any items you buy. The shop only has 1 of each item, so you can't buy, for example, 2 rings of damage plus 3. For example, suppose you have 8 hit points, 5 damage, and 5 armor, and that the boss has 12 hit points, 7 damage, and 2 armor. Player deals lowest amount of gold you can spend. That's what I figured. Okay, so this is the boss. Okay. Who attacks first? Player attacks first. Oh, you're saying it sounds a little bit like Nim? I can kind of see that, I think. Least amount of gold. So I can try all combinations of weapons and armor for real cheap, and rings. Honestly, this one, I think this one is just finagling input. I don't think this one's actually going to be that hard. I really don't feel like doing the text parsing necessary for this. It's just kind of, it looks like a nightmare already. So I'm not going to. I'm actually going to. Never mind. Man, I caped quickly, didn't I? No, this is stupid. It would be stupid for me to do that. The amount of time it would take me to write the code to parse this, I can just type it out. Can't believe I almost strayed from my sacred mission of not doing text parsing if I don't have to. So, screw it. Thinking is hard and stupid. Alright. What do you got for me, Iter Tools? One of yous is the right one. Yep. Combinations. That's what I'm looking for. So for weapon in weapons, there's also the option of not wearing armor, which is that. For armor in armors, I'm going to call it armors. I'm sorry. I know that syntactically weird. For high in range 3, no. You cannot. The description says the shop only has one of each item. For ring in Iter Tools dot combinations rings comma I. So my options are God, I'm so bad at using reduce. I can't even think how to do it. Does this work? Oof. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay, well, I can just do this normally. Weapon gold, weapon attack, weapon defense. Armor gold, armor attack, armor defense. For ring gold, ring armor, ring defense in inner tools. Does combinations return pairs? It returns sets of a specific size, where I is the size. So how many options do I have? Unless I'm wrong. I've never been wrong before. This would be a very new experience for me. R length tuples. Oh, R length tuples. Maybe I don't understand what combinations is doing. Return R length subsequences of elements from the input iterable. This should do what I'm thinking it should be doing, right? Yeah, okay. That is doing the right thing. And now I want to pick equipment. Okay, that works. So I can use that as a reduce. Hey Sky, welcome back with food. For weapon in weapons. For armor in armors. For eye in range up to 3. For ring in itertools.combinations of rings of length I. Now how do I use reduce again? Reduce Python 3. I want to reduce my list of... Okay, so this is in functools. Import functools. So what I really want to do is I want to say rings equals, nope, ring equals functools dot reduce, and I want to reduce it using some tuples. I want to pass it that. And I want to print out what I get for ring when I do that. Is it flattening the list of rings? It's got to be flattening the list of rings. There's just no other... There is no other sensible thing. Oh, weird. every single combination. I think I was just missing a really big step there. Can I give reduce an initial value? Yeah. Okay, so this is my ring situation. And at this point is where I can start testing things. This day 19, almost certainly. Yeah, for sure. This was a terrible algorithm. I'm going to have to go back and rewrite this one. It's definitely still running. Not even a question. I did a very bad job. Let's see. Okay, so I have this. Stats are equal to these. Attack and defense. If it's victory with these stats, and, or rather, if G is less than best, and it's a victory with these stats, then best equals G. And print best rate. Now I just have to write the victory condition. Victory. Is it victory with these stats? So it's going to go back and forth taking turns. turn equals 0. And so what I'm going to do while true, so we're just going to continue going turns forever. Is that the regex day? No. Day 19 is the one where I'm doing the chemical swaps. But I wrote it in a super inefficient way, wondering whether or not brute force might be enough to solve this problem. I would say, based on this, the answer might be no. I don't have any advice yet, but other people in my chat might. I've not done a technical interview for an industry job, so I don't have good recommendations at the moment. Well, true. A HP, A attack, and defense equals S sub turn mod 2. Actually, it's not turn mod 2, it's yeah, it's turn mod 2. And then, actually I don't care about my, it's EHP, E, okay, E defense equals S mod turn plus 1 mod 2. So that'll give me what I want. If EHP is less than or equal to 0, then return whether or not it is my turn, so whether or not turn mod 2 is equal to 0. Otherwise, replace the tuple with EHP, EAT, and EDF. Now all I gotta do is modify EHP is max of either 1 or ATK minus EDF. $78. Turns out the shopkeeper's working with the boss. What a jerk. And can persuade you to buy whatever items he wants. The other rules still apply and he only has one of each item. What's the most amount of gold you can spend and still lose the fight? What's the most you can spend and still lose the fight? Oof. Okay, so the victory condition's backwards now. And it's actually that. Nice. I had suspected that that problem was going to be mostly centered around just dealing with input and simulating the thing.